seems like human nature to improvise various ways of squeezing some sort of thrill from the most unlikely things or activities. There are a number of activities humans have transformed from being a mere necessity to a previous unheard of form of entertainment. Let's talk about a singular act that involves traveling on a set of four wheels. And yes, while we're not going to discuss the Fast and Furious franchise,
you don't turn your back on them.
We are going to be talking about drifting. Now, drifting in Grid Legends is not the simplest, but it's also not hard once you get the hang of it. Two of the major things to keep in mind is throttle control and drift angle. Let's take a deeper look into both. Now, throttle control and drift angle go hand in hand. When entering into a corner, start to turn your car in, and as you're turning in, you will want to apply slight brake pressure to rotate your car. Now, once your car is in a slight angle, throttle control comes into play. When drifting, more throttle will help lose traction to the rear wheels, creating more slide or greater drift angle. Less throttle will slowly help bring back the car to a more stable angle or even completely straighten the car back out. This is helpful when coming close to an object to avoid hitting it by straightening the car back out or slowing you down altogether. It's also a good time to mention if you hit any object on the track, it will cancel your multiplier and you will lose your drift score altogether. Using throttle control is only one part of controlling your drift angle. Now, taking throttle control and combining it with steering is the next big step in drifting. Let's say we're making a left turn into a corner. We would start by turning the wheels to the left with a slight tap of the brake, rotating our car, kicking the back end out. Then immediately we want to cut the wheels all the way to the right to counter the oversteer. Now at this point, it's a matter of making slight adjustments left or right to keep your drift angle consistent. I would advise by starting on a track that's nice and open to get a feel for this. It's also to note to make sure you're in the right gear when beginning a drift and having a good tune to allow the car to break traction easier. When getting footage for this video, I was also on a mission to find an overall good tuning setup for all of the cars. What I have found works the best for me is lowering the gear ratio, springs, and dampers all the way to soft. Gear ratio will be personal preference, but shorter is always better. This will allow you to put more power down without the engine bogging down. As for springs and dampers, softer settings will allow the car to transfer its weight better when linking drifts together. As for ARBs or anti-roll bars, I moved them one notch to firm to promote loss of traction. And lastly, the brake bias. Sliding this to the front moves your braking force all the way to the front two wheels, allowing you to get a more snappy kick out when initiating a drift. Now that we have the basics down, the key to winning more drift events is to take your time and link your drifts together. Keeping your multiplier up and going will play a big role in hitting high drift scores. In the clip on screen, I managed to get over 8 million points just by taking my time and linking my drifts together. You can also get nice bonuses by drifting close to objects on track like the yellow outer poles and the inner orange cones. Drifting is definitely not an easy task in this game and will take some practice to get used to, but if you guys learned something new on this video, please drop a like, subscribe, and with that out of the way, happy drifting.